So that's how it happens. So you can stop me anytime and you can ask me questions anytime if you have. You may not need to hold your questions till the end. And anytime you can stop me and ask anything you want. So looking into 2003, when we completed our MCA, we basically I was not having, or I didn't get any campus or not selected in any campus. And then there is no other option. We have to come to Bangalore. And then, so that time people were learning Java. I think you are also learning Java now, but that time C++ was quite, everyone used to learn that. And that was academic anyway. C and C++ was in academic, our academic that time. I think it is even today. So that's where I started. I looked into the C++. I didn't go to Java because I don't know why, but I just sticked into the C++. And then one day I got one call, and it is actually not Michael. It was my friends. If you know Himanshu, suddenly he's my college friend only. He was having one call later for the interview. By the way, I just joined him, and then somehow I just cleared that written test and then went for interview. Somehow I got cleared, and it was a very small. I started, that's Visual Studio C++ kind of things. Very small project, by the way, and it was a very small company. It is still there. The company is still there, but it is still a small company. And I started with that profile, worked for 8 or 9 months, and then I came back to Bhubaneswar. There is one more company called Expo, which is still there today. Its name Expo. It was network earlier. There I started. Okay, so when I started my first company, and then I used to work on C++, and then I got a. So by the way, we don't choose domain, right? When we start our career, what we choose is the language, and even we don't choose, whatever comes to us, we give it. So to be honest, when we start, we don't know where, what, or which domain we will be working on. But then I got this VoIP domain, one project on a VoIP. That's how I started learning the telecoms, all the protocols and everything. Then the next job is on 3G, which is in a network Bhubaneswar. There probably I worked for close to 6 years, and there I started with the 3G and also learned something on 4G. And we used to work on a product which was a simulator, by the way, and it was also on C and C++ together. And after that, and when you work on one domain for a quite long period of time, you will eventually learn what is the protocols, right? You no need to even study. It's part of your job. You will keep studying. So that's how I started learning the domain part, telecom domain. And if you look into the career, I didn't choose the telecom. It somehow come to me. And then I started learning from 4G, 3G, and then looked into 4G. Then I went to Arisent because of some reason the company shifted to Pune. They came back to Bhubaneswar now, but they they actually left to Pune. They are not okay now. They don't have any branch in Bhubaneswar. So then we thought, why to go to Pune? Why not to Delhi? So we went to Addison to Delhi. And after that, there also I worked on a 3G. Though I joined as a 4G engineer there, they recruited me 4G, but I didn't get any project. So there I started working on 3G back. And but working there on a 3G, I got little clarified how this telecom really works. We were not. So when you start working on any project, by the way, you don't know what you are doing. You may be working on a very small component, right? So the product, if the product is very, it's like 100%. Let's say the whole product is 100%. You will be working on 10% of that, or not even a 10%. Sometimes it's 5% of that whole product, right? So you don't know what is that product at all altogether. But when you start working on it, you gradually get to know how this product works, and then the end-to-end, right? And that's how you keep building your domain knowledge. And then I think when I joined Addison, I got to know end-to-end knowledge. I worked there for 2 years, very small time, but But in 2 years, I learned how this end-to-end things works, because we got involved in customer discussions, and then this deployments, and then after that I come back to Bangalore, and after coming to Bangalore, I started working on for Samsung, by the way, but from L&T. I was employee of L&T, but I was working as a contractor for Samsung, and there I started working on real Genode, which is Reliance Jio. And then after working in Samsung, then I went to Reliance Jio, which is again like in a kind of a reputation for this field testing. Right, I was into development, but then someone has to be there from development team to identify what are the issues coming from the field. So there we started looking into the issues that Reliance Jio is facing. Today you are using 4G, everyone. That is what we started sometimes 2015, the testing and all. And we used to get, the informations or the end-to-end call, how it is happening between two EV, and how the telecom, and how there are a lot of protocols when you talk about two phones. And I think you know a little bit, by the way, in as what you're academic, maybe if someone know this, how this VoIP works. 4G actually it is IMS. If you call another person, it actually uses the IMS protocol. But that IMS protocol actually carried over IP till some point, and then again it uses some core network protocol. After that, there is radio network protocol. So there are a lot of protocols involved. I was part of radio network protocol between EV, your device, and the tower, if you consider. That's what we say base station. That base station has different name in all the generations, but in general, people say base station. But while working on this, Geo, we looked into the end-to-end call, looking into so many entities in between involved. And then there are a lot of companies involved. It's not only Samsung. So there were companies, many companies were working for Geo just to make a call between A to B. There are so many entities in between, and then all belongs to different companies. But we analyzed everything, and as part of that, again, at least I got a little bit knowledge of end-to-end. Between device to device interfaces. That's how I started working on this 4G. Then after that, I think after 5 years plus, I joined this Nokia. I think sometime to 2017, I started working on 5G. That time 5G was starting, 2017, the development of 5G. And then we worked on this Nokia base stations. I think this is also now used by Reliance Jio. And we started for 5G protocols. And if you look into these generations, right, telecom domain is actually small. I would say there are not very big companies working on this telecom. It's very limited. And if you look into the telecom, it is very vast, but the current usage is very small. If you look into the current market, it is only 4G. And 5G is there, but 5G is not a hit one, right? Like 4G. So some customers are on 4G. Many customers are on 4G, by the way, but some are in 5G. And if you see the protocol, it is actually very vast. If you look into from 2G to 3G to 4G and 5G, the learning curve is very big. If anyone is working on 4G, want to join on 5G or from 3G to 4G, there is a very big change. And there are a lot of things to study, and there are a lot of things to, you need to focus when you are working. So end of the day, the product is on a C++, but C++ alone doesn't make, or if you know only C++, you can work up to some extent. But when you want to work on any product, you need to know the domain. So why I am saying all this is because it's okay, you can focus on language, but today, which I think we can still discuss, language is not a problem, and anyone can do any language because of this AI things, which we can also discuss. But domain knowledge is much important, because if someone is writing the code, you need to know why he's doing it, right? And why that requirement is there. And if you look into the current coding trends, even today, I'm not doing anything on C++. I'm not doing any coding. I am Actually, we're looking into the domain, identifying the requirements, and then there are a team who will actually do the coding. Even they don't do coding. What if I say you, okay, you need to implement this? They simply go and ask Copilot, GitHub Copilot, which is an AI tool, which already has our, he already learned our product, not only our product, there are a lot of products, and then it's already given a training. So if they ask, can you please give me a code which do this work? He will simply print it. And then you take it, copy it, and then paste it and then modify as for your need. So it's like coding is very simple now. What is more important is when GitHub give you a piece of code, whether that piece of code fit to my requirement, or is it like simply he's giving something which doesn't make any sense, or it will not fit to me, then you have to ask again, or you need to do some modification. That is what kind of knowledge we need today. Now, when you, I mean, with respect to coding, I think we need to focus more on AI, because everyone is using AI today, and each and every company, there is no company which doesn't use this GitHub Copilot. Everyone is using it. So first is, I think we need to focus towards AI a little bit, maybe as a freshers, because when you start, your career, they may not ask you about AI, but if you have AI in your curriculum, which will add some advantage. Otherwise, everyone will be doing same thing. Like the profile, every profile will look same. Then it has to be a little different than others. Then we need to add this. And then second part is the domain. So the domain could be anything. It should be interest to you. Like some people can look into this telecom domain. Some people don't like it. Some people like security domain. So today, a telecom is also not a big domain where a lot of people can start working. It is very small domain, and there are players. There are very big players, but domain is very limited. And then if you look into the employee, it's very limited. It's not like the cloud market or this security domain. Security is very big domain if you look into the security part. So if someone is interested into learning this security, then we can at least study some security of it. So when you go to security, it also has a lot of different verticals. A telecom security is there, your web security is there. I mean, then products, a lot of security. Again, it is, when you come to the telecom, again, it is divided into multiple things. So, there are IP security. I mean, in the telecom, we also use IP, right? So there are also security, backhaul security, RAN security. So core security, a lot of things are there. So security is a very big one. But if you know at least some part of security, and then if you are, trying to, or you are giving some kind of interview, or if anyone is taking an interview, and then if that company works on a security, you have something on a security, they will definitely ask you security. And if you know something other than what your regular, then definitely your profile will fit, right? Or your profile will be on the top of everyone else. So that is why I think it is also a little, I would say it is better to know, or better to learn some domain as for your interest, what you like it, because you cannot go and read each and every domain. It is also difficult, and we should not do that. So we should focus on to our interest. But when we started, we didn't know our domain. That time, no one was focusing on domain. But today, since that time, everyone was focusing on the code part. Whether you know the C++, whether you know the syntax, right? They used to ask these questions. But now I don't think anyone is asking these questions. Even I don't ask in any interview. We just look into the smartness, the attitude, and then we just look into the way he analyze or solve a problem, right? Because if we keep asking the coding, no one actually code, everyone copy. And then after this AI tools, I don't think anyone will go and type. It actually suggests if you try to code something, and if you try one line, and then the second line will be suggested by the AI tools itself. So you no need to think much on the coding, syntax and all. They will fix automatically. So what matters is when at least I take an interview and the attitude, and at least if they have some knowledge, or if they are eager to learn or keen to learn something which is new, while giving an interview, the interviewer can find out whether you are actually trying to, understand and go deep into something and then try to find a solution. They will analyze you. It's not like they need only answer. The way you approach any problem, they will keep looking into that. And then they, from that, they will judge how do you fit their role. So that's how I think we should also look into. And then coming into my work today, what I do is, at least in Nokia, I also do some part-time work. Um, I mean, in Nokia itself, we have the products on. Right now, we are working on 5G, but then the 6G is also coming. 5G, if you look into the 5G, it has different release actually. If anyone know this 5G specification, how actually, how come this 5G, or how this generation started, 2G, 3G, 4G, who actually does this? There is a 3GPP body who actually handles all these protocols, how the mobile should be coded, or I mean these requirements, how the mobile has to communicate. Right, when A is communicating to B, there has to be some mechanism, right? Now company A is one company is working or developing some entity for A, and then another company is also developing, same entity A, but both are communicating to some company B. Then in that case, all companies should follow some standard, right, to make things work. That's how this 3GPP actually creates some protocols. That's what we say, protocols. And like TCP/IP protocol, right? Our TCP layer. What is that? That OSS layer. Similarly, in 3GPP, we also have protocols. There are a lot of protocols involved. And then in 3GPP release, there are releases. So when you talk about 5G has two releases. We say release number 18 and 19. So release 19 is released just last December, last 2025 December, which is kind of, we can say, 5G advanced. Then from this year onwards, 5G will be on maintenance mode. There will be no new features. So 6G is already started. And then, so I'm also working on that, start 6G. And the same time, probably I think, innovations, right? You guys may be doing some innovations. So when you do some innovations and you see that is not there, or no one, at least in the world, has created such kind of innovations, then we can make that as a patent, isn't it? So you can protect that. So that is what we call IP, or intellectual property rights, right? Or patents. So my part-time is on creating or generating patents for Nokia. So when we work on 6G, because 6G is coming, or 6G is new, and how the 6G is supposed to work, no one knows. And if we see there is a method which can, simplify the current or the proposed one, we can propose that. So that can be protected. So before we propose to 3GPP, it has to be protected, and then that is what Nokia is doing. So I am also kind of trying to generate patents for Nokia. So that's how, that's my job profile currently, or I would say briefly. And if you have any questions, I think you can keep asking me, or if you want to listen something, or just or you can ask me what we can discuss. Yeah, please.
Good evening, sir. I am Mr. Horace Panigrai, and my question is that actually in workplace, did it legal to use AI tools, AI models?
Hmm. Yes, it is. Okay, there are two things. Now, if you're working in a company and that company says you can use your chat GPT, but with some restrictions. Now, when we use AI tools, there are a lot of restrictions comes into picture. Now, when I say co-pilot, right, or when I say chat GPT, so when I open chat GPT in my office, right now I am talking you guys through my office laptop. Now, if I open any chat GPT, there will be some warning that I should use chat GPT as responsible. I should not, you know, copy some code and then ask, hey, this code is not working, can you please tell me, or can you review this code for me, or can you tell me where is the issue? I cannot ask that, right? So if anything which is very specific, internal R&D specific, we should not copy and ask questions in the chat GPT. We should not ask anything. But in the office had some AI tools, and which is license based and it is protected. Whatever questions or whatever we ask, this will not go beyond our Nokia campus. Let's say if I am using now ChatGPT, or there is another tool called, GitHub Copilot, or the Cursor. There is another tool which is called Cursor. Uh, they know what is our code. This Cursor knows our whole code, Nokia, everything they knows, A to Z. Now, if I ask anything, they will go and look into those code and then suggest me this is how you can work. So those are allowed. So there are NDAs which we need to go through, non-disclosure. So there are some signing we need to do when we are using AI tools. So it's not like you can use simply, I mean, just like it. No, we cannot. We have to be as for our company policy and rules. Right? So the answer is yes, but with restriction.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. I am Lopamudra, and my question is, how can students prepare for industry level work?
Industry level work. Okay. So when you come to the work, it's not like you are joining as a fresher and no one will ask you. You go and start writing one requirement. So okay. So when you look into the, okay, first of all, let's see how the work actually comes to a person for implementation. Right now, there will be a team who actually will start looking into the requirements, and then for a product A, which is, let's say we are actually creating a product, or there is already product. It's not like everyone will get a chance to work on a product which is starting from zero, right? Which is very rare. But let's say you got a product which is starting from rare, I think it is fine, you can work on that. But let's say there is a product and then we need to add some features on top of that. So there will be requirement team, and they will start, creating the requirements, and then will give to the leads in the team, or they will assign to a team. When it comes to the team, so the team will not ask a person who joined the team recently, right? Not possible for him or her to look into that requirement and then start writing the code. It is impossible. So first, what will happen, you will go through a training. Now when you go through a training and you allocate it to a project, so you need to learn the project first of all. And then when we are saying to learn the project, there will be some kind of online training you can find. I mean, or sometimes some kind of someone will guide you, right, as a anchor or something, or they can nominate one person for you, and then you can ask your questions to him and then understand the product together. And when you understand the product, and then when the requirement comes as a process, it will come to you with all the requirements, and then they will also tell you that where exactly you need to go and work on. Right now, let's say you got a feature. If I talk about the telecom industry, then we got a feature for some mobility feature. We got some mobility feature. Then that mobility feature, how it has to fit in our product, someone will explain, and I don't think you will get it. So they will be architects. So first it will come to the architect, and then the architect will identify the product, how it has to be implemented. It will split it, because one product will have a lot of components, right? And then each component will find their own requirements, and then probably the engineers, software engineers, they will start working on one requirement, not everything. So when they start working on the requirements, sometimes you will find the low level design or the high level design, and then you can start looking into that high level design. You can start your work. If not, then probably if you are little senior, or you already worked for a couple of years, then you can also do that high level design and then start working. So so the work is very simple. When you start working, it is not like that some person cannot work. Everyone can work. There is nothing like rocket science that someone cannot work. It's very simple. Working is very simple. Just that you need to understand what exactly you need to do, right? So to do that, there are some steps. Initially, you may find a challenge, but you will learn it when you come to the part. No, you will learn it. But I don't see anyone failed, at least while working. Always the problem comes when you try to write a mail. I think you should focus on writing a mail, and I try to explain. It's not like everyone will be available every time to discuss something, right? Sometimes you need to ask questions through mails. So I think mail writing is more important. I would say the communication is more important than working on a project. So working on a project, you will find it way how to do it if you know the language. So and is nowadays, because of this AI tool, it actually even becomes very easy. You go and ask the questions. I want to implement this mobility procedure for the component XYZ. It will tell you where to do it, and what are the places you can focus on, right? So finding also, you no need to search. It's ready made to you. So working on implementation wise, I think it is not a big problem. Challenge is while communicating, right? So when you ask a question, or when you go and to your peer and then you ask, I am not understanding this, you should be asking in such a way that he should understand, and then he should not feel that otherwise, I mean, um, how do I say, um, like if you are asking me a question, I should understand that, and then I should also understand that you are really trying to learn something. You should not even ask something simply because you need to ask, right? So when you are asking, you should be very careful that you are actually trying to learn. So you should show your curiosity, then things will come. Or you want some different answer? Is that okay, or you still need something further?
Thank you, sir. Sir, my other question is what skill will never go out of demand?
No, you cannot say everything can go out of demand at any point of time, because the history is like that. C++, people were saying, no, it cannot go. Now C++, no one is. Very rarely, very few people come using C++. Even we are thinking not to use 6 for 6C. We are thinking of a different language. I think it is R language. What is that called? Something newly, I think our team has decided. Nokia is going to use some different language. What is that? Rocks or something? I don't remember exactly. But we are not going to use C++. So you cannot say that some skill what you learn will be used all the time, which is wrong. But if you learn one language, it is very easy for you to understand the second language, right? Today we don't know that new language, but we are okay. If that also comes, we can do it. It's not so difficult to understand, right? If you know the C++, it is very easy. You will understand each and every language. That's not a big problem. So understanding language, I think, is a very small part of it. So you can, if you try to learn one language, the basic part, the Hello World program, right? How many days you need? Just hardly one day, or not even one day, right? If someone is trying to write a Hello World program in any language, he can do just in one day, or maybe earlier than that, because you have YouTube, you have Google, you have Chat GPT, you have a lot of things to understand how the language works. Correct? No. So if you want to say, I want to learn C++ and just I want to write a matrix program, just Google, I mean, open YouTube, no, and then someone will explain how to write. So today, people don't read, actually. They try to understand many things from the discussions and, from these recorded sessions, recorded videos. But if you try to learn something by yourself, going through the book, then I don't know how many days or how many months you will take just to understand, the C++ or Python. I think today, since your C and C++ is in a curriculum, you need to answer, right, the questions. Probably you need all these. They may be asking syntax, the output, all these things. So probably you may need it today, but when you come to the work, you may not need it. Whatever we are learning in the college may be not needed. Right? So, but if you look into the domain, there are something which is never evergreen domain. It's like a security domain. It's evergreen domain. Telecom domain, it's a lot of changes. By the way, security domain also there are a lot of changes. If you see, every time there are new security things are coming. So that is also evergreen, but every day you need to learn. Even today we are learning, or we are reading, by the way, because when we go to the 6G, 6G also has something new. But if you are off to the mark, when the 6G release, okay, 6G release will happen on 2028 or 2029. But it started today. Now we are in sync with 3GPP. I mean, for 6G, in 3GPP for 6G, because we got an opportunity through Nokia. It's not like each and every company know that, but there are a few companies they can directly get involved. That's how we know what 6G is going to do, what are the features coming, how they are thinking. And because of that, because we create patents and then we try to, protect something which 3GPP is going to do, so that we can generate some money out of it. That is how we are in sync with that. But if you are in sync with any domain, then I think it's not a problem. Otherwise, we need to learn the domain at least in before you try to appear any interview. I think it is better to go through or learn at least one of the domain. There are there are thousands of domains, but you can choose one of that and then try looking into that. Those domains will definitely help you. Language, I don't say that language will not help you. Language will still help you, but it depends. It depends the company. Like when you go to a company, they may not be working on C++. What if they are working on Python, right? But you don't know the finance domain. There are companies, they work on Python, but in the finance domain. So if you know the finance domain, you can still appear that interview, at least up to. But if you know the C++, you can also see how the Python works. Just the syntax is same, but the logic remains always same, right? The way we write the language is different. You write in any language, the logic remains same. Only thing is the syntax, the way you write the code, right? The way you write the for loop may be different in Python, but the for loop you are using for a purpose in Python or in C++ remains same, isn't it? Or
Thank you, sir.
okay, thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good.
My name is Astos Maharana, MCA first year. Sir, in college, we mainly focus on languages like C++, Java, Python, but we ignore skills like Linux and networking. My question is, are Linux and networking skills mandatory to learn before interviews, or can we learn them after joining a company?
Yes, okay. So if you say this, when you are saying you are learning C++, right? You probably using Windows compilers to
Yes, sir.
execute your program, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so that is okay. That is fine, not a big deal. But learning Linux, I think is kind of a added advantage, because why do I say this? If you look into the compilation steps, right? If you go to any company, or at least I don't know, but there are many companies, their products compile on Linux. Or if you are an application programmer, then I think it is fine. You can still work on Windows. But if you're a system programmer, let's say if you are kind of trying to write some protocol stack, let's say the TCP/IP protocol stack, right? So TCP/IP protocol stack, when you say, actually it's written in the Linux, right? And then you can use those in cross compile or something. That's different story. But when they create the products, a lot of products actually run on your Linux environment, because there are bigger GPUs, Linux GPUs. That is why a lot of companies work on Linux. So if you know the basic Linux, I think it is still okay. You don't need to understand, the kernel, how it works in the Linux. Not necessary, but at least basic commands: how to open a file, close a file, write a file, compile, and then how to list a file, how to find a file, grep, some pattern in a file. So such things, at least we should be knowing it. Linux is not mandatory, but when you come to a company, right? Let's say if you are joining a company and then there is another person joining or appearing for an interview, someone knowing Linux, and then he's exactly same as you. Then if you don't know Linux, it will be, I mean, for anyone is choosing, then they will go person who knows Linux, right? If they're working on Linux. So it is good to know. Operating systems are, I think, good to know. You know the Windows or Linux, I think it is okay, because Windows are very familiar, very, you know, graphical, interactive, but Linux is not like that. So it is better, I would say.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have another question. For students who want to enter the telecom industry, what course skills you should suggest that we focus on from the beginning of our career?
Telecom, because telecom is, as I said, telecom again is divided, right? It is wired and wireless, right? And when you talk about wireless, it is again in generations. And then when you talk about wired, there are also differences. Now, if you start the telecom, I think we should start from OSI model, which I think is a part of your core subject. Okay? And if you understand the OSI model, when you learn, I think you will learn the protocols. And that's how the IP and the TCP/IP model, right? That's how our internet works. And then I think that should be your first. And then I think if how do I say, if you were trying to understand the wireless technology, which is very difficult one, I suggest it's not needed. I think the basic telecom, I think it should be enough. And then if you are actually going to work on a product who has, you know, or who is actually creating wireless domain products like base stations or your EV mobile devices, you know, or your the entities which is behind the, when you talk about your base station, that antenna one, right? That if you look into any tower, there will be one switch. That switch we say base station. That is not the one. That is also connected to a core network, which is actually wire-based interface. So that also comes under telecom domain. But we say that is a core. It's not wireless. So, but all these are, you know, quite challenge to, at least to study during curriculum. It's very difficult. If you are really interested, then you can look into that. But basically, we should start from OSI model, TCP/IP, IP, RTP. All these things are how this IP is working. First of all, IP is more important. If you start looking into the IP, then I think every protocol you can resemble with your IP. Everything remains same, just that the way they handle it different.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I am Vasudev Mahanti. I am currently preparing for DevOps jobs, but sir, when I done my research on it, maximum companies don't take freshers to DevOps related job. As you have experience in networking and Linux, I want to know, should I prepare for DevOps or uh, study networking and Linux after gaining experience, then switch to DevOps?
Okay. Yeah. I think you understood. I mean, you actually observed correctly. By the way, I would say, because why they don't choose companies, why they don't choose is, so when you say about DevOps, it's like the product is already developed, and then it is kind of giving a support if there are any issues, isn't it? So it's like a operation and support kind of job when you say dev job. So DevOps, they usually prefer a person who actually has knowledge on this DevOps. Now, when you talk about DevOps, you can also find a lot of, right? You can find also, like in a company like Cisco, they can take freshers, I guess. They are taking it. But when you come to our Nokia, we also a team of DevOps. It's a very big team, but they don't take because someone joining fresher, I mean, as a fresher, they may not be knowing how exactly it is working. Then you cannot support them. So if you know a product, then you go to a DevOps. It will help. It will also help them to understand. Like since you know this product, if any issue comes on that product, they can assign you. Now, if you don't know any of the products and then you are a new person, then they don't know what to assign, right? Because when DevOps comes, right, that team can get a issue from any of the components or any of the products, any of the how do I say, entities. But if you know one entity and you can enter into that DevOps, and then slowly you can start learning others. That is the easier method. So I think you should start looking into development, okay, either or testing. Testing is also a good option, because when you say testing, if you know the protocols, to any of the testing, or you know the domain, then testing is easier. I mean, if you are learning test domain and you don't know the language, or you know a basic language like the scripting language, Python, or the Lua, or any scripting, or the JavaScript. So if you know the, or the shell scripts, if you know the scripting language and you know the domain, then it is probable. I mean, it is or it increases for your selection in the kind of testing type of jobs. It is still okay. With you no need to focus much on the language. You can still focus on the domain. So I would say starting from dev or test is the better one, because if you start from DevOps, it is very difficult. I mean, you may not find it easy to handle. I mean, easy to work on that kind of roles, because when they ask, or when they recruit, by the way, and the profile they will ask will not match you, because they will ask, do you know all these things, and it will never be possible for you. And even though you matches part of it, 30%, they will still select your profile. But I don't think as a fresher you can match them. So even though you will learn one part of it, right? When you go and learn DevOps, you can learn one product. Let's say the routers. You can go and learn how the router works. You show that you can give a support to them. What happens if you don't get any, or there are no openings on the router DevOps? So you will miss it. There may be some other places where you can find it. So let's pick the job, whatever you are getting, not necessarily only to this area, but if it is on the dev and test, I think it is better to go with.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Thank you, Janmajay. Sir, my question is that as we all are in college now, after getting our first job, what is the main focus we should most follow? I mean to say, how actually we can increase our salary or positions.
Mhm. Mhm. I think you should not focus on these things. You focus on looking into the work you got, mm, because uh, you don't believe, when I started my job, I got a very low salary. I am the person who got very low salary in our batch, right? It's very low, very, very low, by the way. I was just able to manage first time, I mean, initially. So, but then I was not focusing on that. I was just focusing on the knowledge that I was gaining, from that project. I started looking into this language a little bit more, because that time everyone was looking into and whenever you go for an interview, they used to ask, language. They will give you a problem, they'll ask you write this program on a pen and paper. That's how we used to give the interview, right? So I started looking into that, and then the domain part, because if you clarify, or if you clear all of this, and then if it is satisfied, then the next question they'll ask a little bit on the domain that you have worked already, not necessarily that they are looking for. So if you have worked on a project, you say that I worked on a project A, and then that project A based on this domain, then they'll ask you if you know. If you know, then that's an added one. So I think you focus on your knowledge gaining, then everything will follow you. You don't need to focus on this promotion and all. it will automatically come. I never focused into this, and it came automatically, even without I am asking. So, so I would suggest, so when you, if you are getting a job and you got a job that you like it, then you just put all your energy, at least a couple of years, starting when you, and you know, first couple of years is something like, after 5 years of job, you may feel boring, but initial years is very crucial, and then you should focus learning the part of work you are doing. And first of all, you see why I'm doing this. So whenever you are doing something, you ask questions to yourself, understand, and then answer yourself. I mean, try to find an answer yourself, looking into, or you can also ask your colleagues why I'm doing this. First of all, if I'm doing, how it will be used. If you are satisfied with that, it means you know end to end. So when you know end to end, you don't need to worry. So when you give the second interview, it automatically, you will get that. So just learn it, put your focus on that. Don't get diverted, because the initial initial few years are more important. So keep your focus. That's all. And the another part is, so if you are learning something new, you know, it's part of, or let's say you got a job, but you want to learn something today. Actually, if you go anywhere, you will see AI. You go to any company, any domain, any type of work, you will see definitely AI. AI is everywhere now. At least it started from last year, and I see people are rolling AI very fast, very very fast. Every week they are rolling something new. Earlier it used to be months. Okay, if you are doing something, then after 6 months you see something new. But now it is happening every day. Today you see something. Tomorrow morning, if you come, something new has come. So because it is AI and it is, people are very fast doing it. So if you are getting any job, try to learn AI. I think without AI, I don't see it's possible to survive longer. So AI is must nowadays. So learn AI. I think it is more important. Even though you got a job, I think it is better to learn AI if the job is not on AI.
Thank you, sir. I have another question that as we are in college now, uh, how to get freelance work?
Freelancing. Okay, I don't know much because I don't do that. My part-time is also goes, I mean, I'm working for my company only because I'm paid by my company. Extra pay is coming if you file one patent. So that's how I do that. It's a extra on top of the salary. That's how. So I don't do any freelancing, but I think there are people who are doing it. Maybe if you know Manoj, I think you are all know, right? So he's the
Yes, sir.
right person. He can answer you. So he knows how to do this, or he can guide you how to do this. Sorry, by the way, I never tried it. I tried looking into, but then I think it doesn't allow me to do this because of my NDA with my company. So I'm not doing that. But for you, I think it is still okay. You are still in college. As long as you are not in any company, you are free to do that. So be in touch with Manoj. He knows how to do it.
Sir, is it illegal to work
No?
simultaneously to company?
Ha, yes, it is illegal. So it depends. It depends on the company. So if you are in a company and then the company want to work for him, then you should not work for any other company, right? It's not needed, by the way. Why to work, by the way, in two companies? So you can
Mm,
find in your company only two jobs. So
yes, sir.
if you're asking if you're asking your company, no, I want to do two things, they will not feel bad. They will be happiest one, right? Because you are doing some job for them, right? Now I am doing one job for them. They are paying, but whatever they are paying is very less for them,
Yes.
right? Maybe big for me, but for them it is very less. If they hire a new person, they have to pay like anything, but they pay something, some additional. That's it. Correct? No. So you no need to work on two companies anytime. It is okay. By the way, you need to find your what I say, your family time. You don't have, but today, but you may have it, right? So you should not forget. You need to balance work life. So never think of working. I think nowadays, if you know AI, I don't think you need. You will get the pay you need. So no need to worry on that, and it will be enough.
Thank you, sir.
Because today's market, I think you today's market, if you look into the AI, people are getting a lot of salary. The way people, or we used to, when we used to get a job in sometimes 2004 or 5. Now, if you compare the freshers, at least they are getting, I think, 5 6 times. Today, whoever is 10 years experience, freshers are getting that money, or maybe more than that. So you can find a job, right job.
But sir, as we are in development background, did it necessary to learn AI ML? If it's necessary, how much how can we know that how much it is necessary?
Okay, yeah. So it is necessary because okay. Tell me one thing, when you are using your mobile, you are using some chat GPT to ask questions, right?
Yes, sir.
So it is not right. It is not necessary that you will develop anything. It is necessary that how are you asking questions, the prompt engineering, and
Yes, sir.
what type of questions, or if you get the answer, is that a correct one? If not, then what the next question you're supposed to ask, right? So when I'm saying AI, you no need to know how the LLM works, how the algorithms works detailed, but you should have a fair knowledge that if I am actually I'm going to ask a question on a language, I should not use some AI tool who actually answers me some different type of questions, right? Like if there is a tool who actually correct the English grammar. There are prephrase or paraphrase tools, right? You give one paragraph, they will correct your grammar and then give you back. But if I go and ask questions to him related to my coding, he may not answer it. So at least some knowledge on AI tool, how to use it, we should know. Now, today, if you are writing any thesis, you no need to fix all the grammars. Write it, just put your thought, whatever you are thinking, the way you know the English, whatever it is, however it is, and then you give to a AI tool. He will give you back very nice wordings, very nice sentences, very nice paragraphs. No one can imagine that, okay, some people can also write like this. They can also give like that, and you use it. So today, everyone is doing that. It's not harm using it. And I don't know, but I don't think. I mean, I'm thinking whether or not. I'm thinking at least after 4 5 years or down the time, people will forget remembering language. They will go and ask whatever it gives, just to check it, and then uh, add to your product, compile it, and then compilation is also through AI, right? Today, you are someone asking me, right, how to whether it is necessary to know the Linux or not. It is necessary, I said, but if there are AI tools, he will do job for you. But you should be knowing it. You don't use it, but you should know if AI is doing something wrong. You should make out that he's doing wrong. And if he is doing wrong and you use it, then it is a problem. Give me a second, please. Who is calling? Okay. Yeah. So that's how I think you no need to know too much of AI, but at least the basics of AI we should be know. We should be knowing it. Everyone should be knowing it, by the way, because more or less you will come across whenever you start your job, right? You will come. It will come, and it will definitely come because I know the trend and then I know the industry, how people are working. I have noticed even my ex-colleagues, how they are recruiting people who know AI. If you know little bit AI, they blindly take, right? So knowing AI knowledge and adding to your profile is always an added advantage. So by the way, you will find a lot of time. It's not like you will not find time in your curriculum, right? You will find you have a gap, you have a semesters, but you will find a lot of time to study all this because we used to find, but we just lost because no one used to guide us. We lost a lot of time during college. So that's what we are realizing now, but it's okay. But that there are something which is coming, you learn it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
Good
please.
evening, bhai. Currently, I am pursuing MCA in final year. Bhai, I have a small question. Uh, Bhai, Nokia was once the king of mobile phones. I just wanted to understand what led the company to move away from the market, and what is Nokia's main focus today?
Okay. Yeah, very good one. So Nokia, when yeah, right, Nokia was the king, but then they did a mistake. So if you remember, sometimes I don't know the exact date. I think sometime 2007 or six, this Android has come, right? Or maybe
Yeah,
not 7 6. I think it is a little beyond. I think maybe 10. Yeah, sometime like that, 9 10, 2019 or something like that. So Android has come, and then Nokia was number one. They thought, hey, why do we use this Android operating system in our mobile? Because they were having their own operating system, Symbian. So they thought not to use this Android, and then they just simply ignored that, and then the other companies like Samsung started using this Android, and then they started their phone. And then when they released their phones, even after that, they were not learning that we should go to Android. No, they simply said, okay, we'll still work, because the phone was giving profit to them. But once Samsung released, I think, couple of phones, then people stopped buying Nokia phones. Everyone used to buy Nokia phone if it is okay. I mean, 2G, 3G, I think they used to buy. But after 3G, everyone started buying this Android phone. Then the market went very down, and even Nokia started working on Android. But then they decided to sell this company, because Nokia was focusing on mobile devices as well as this base station, the
yeah,
networking, by the way, a wireless networking.
yeah.
So
Uh,
they sold the Nokia device to HTC. That's not a Nokia company. They just use Nokia brand, but it is HTC company. So if you see the Nokia mobiles today, they are into Android, but they are not picking the market because it's already captured by Apple and Samsung, and then
and
Chinese.
what is the main focus of Nokia today?
Yes, Nokia main focus today is the network business, networking. I mean, infrastructure, kind of mobile infrastructure, and into solutions. So if you look into, just forget about a device. After that, each and every component you can find from Nokia. Right now, your base station, your core network, your IMS signaling, if you're doing, everything is available. So Nokia is, I think, is a company of 86,000 employees worldwide today. So all are actually into this, pattern generating, and then this business, in mobile infrastructure business. Now I think we are adding some defense line, and then we are coming into AI. Data center also now coming. Nokia is trying to pick it, but these are startups. I think they are starting. But mainly the revenue comes from Nokia, mobile infrastructure.
Acha, bhai, another question. What is the hiring process of Nokia? Means how they hire people, the young brain, the new one, the fresher one, or there is there any place for freshers or not?
There are, what they do, by the way. Nokia hires, because it's based in Bangalore. So they actually go to schools or colleges here only in South.
Acha,
Mainly in Bangalore. They go to the colleges in Bangalore, and I think a few colleges in Tamil Nadu they go. And then they recruit interns. They don't go with freshers hiring, but they go to hire interns. Like or you are engineering or you are doing MCA, then I think last 6 months or 1 year you do projects, right? That's the intern you
yeah,
do. No? So they
yes, correct.
hire that, and then everyone will be allocated to one project, and then out of all, they will select few of them, and then they will keep them. That's how the hiring process till, I think, last year. But from last year mid, I think it's freezed. It's now there is no hiring because of this AI tools. We think, or the Nokia think, people, if you when people used to work a job, or a task is to complete in, let's say, 1 week. Using this AI tool, they can complete in 2 days. So meaning we are saving 3 days of work, right? Using this AI tool. So meaning we can also work some other thing in this remaining days. That's how we are thinking now. Though it's a different story, but the thought is like this. So that's how they are thinking. Whatever employees or the people we have, we are enough to handle.
Yeah, bhai.
So,
Bhai, one last question.
mhm.
Bhai, from your experience, what guidance would you offer to the young brains in the meeting to help them grow and succeed in future?
Mhm. So I I would suggest you learn the new things. I mean something which is out of box. And if everyone is learning language, at least you need to know that. But and then on top of that, you should know something new. And then if you are innovative, you can also start doing something very innovative, which is not there at all, and you add into your profile. Definitely you will succeed. And that culture, I think, if you have that culture in your mind, I mean, then I think wherever you go, you will try to do that way, right? So every time you try to do something new or try to learn something new, and I think definitely you will get somewhere someday. Because it's not only during your college time, right? When you get a job also, if you try to do something new, if everyone is doing a plus b equal to c, you do that a plus b equal to c in a different method which can do quickly, then I think that is something you will stay out or you will stand out, and everyone will notice you. So noticing is more important. People should notice you, right? You should do something, no need to shout, but you should do something that people will notice.
Basically, bhai, you are speaking to study in public means update your LinkedIn profile as well. You have completed any course or any certification. Are you preferring by that? Are you preferring that by to study in public?
Uh, I you where you saw in my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, those certificates, whatever you see there, is part of my job. As part of our learning in Nokia, Nokia has a LinkedIn subscription, and then there are some trainings that we have to do. In a year, we need to spend 100 hours in a year, 100 hours for study. There are some subjects they will assign to us, and we need to complete that. And it's part of my regular. And if I am interested in something, I can go and find it, and then I do study. So that's a job on job learning. It's not I go to somewhere and then do it. It's online on job. Sometimes there are classrooms. Those trainings I take. So it's a regular. If you want to survive in anywhere, not only here, you need to keep learning. So if you stop learning, you are gone. You should keep learning and always something new, right? So that's the culture here in Nokia. It's mandatory process, and if I don't complete, I will not get money next year, or there is no promotion, or there is no increments. So that's a part. So everyone has to do, and everyone has to do. And then if you are outstanding, then probably there are awards in Nokia. If you have noticed, there is something called a DMTS, Distinguished Member of Technical Staff. That's Bell Lab. You know Bell Lab, maybe? So Bell Lab is a Nokia company. And then if you are outstanding and you do something which is very exceptional, then they will give you one award that is called a DMTS award, which is lifetime. One time you will get if in Nokia in your life. So they also give you that award. That if you, I mean, if you do something new, that's why I said you keep doing. Someone someday they will notice. I am already in, I think, 8+ years in Nokia, but last year they noticed me. So it's okay. So you just keep doing. That's all. No need to.
Bhai, sorry, I am
Hmm.
taking too much time. Bhai, one last question.
Mhm.
Bhai, I feel that in today world, most of the code is being written by AI. So
Exactly.
sometimes it seems like we are learning coding at the wrong time. What is your opinion on this?
No. It's not like that. So AI will do job for you. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't. You should be not knowing it, right? If you know, that's an added. But okay. Let's say you don't know something. You don't know the language. At least the basic also you don't know. What is the guarantee that AI will give you the correct code? And if he gives a wrong code and you can't identify that, so at least today, the AI is not that strong or not that kind of smart that it can give you the exact code what you are looking for, right? So it can give you code, but it may not fit you. If it doesn't fit
They
you,
may be 60% right of the original code.
exactly, it will give you a framework. So if this is not fitting to your requirement, then you should know how to modify it, right? Now, how to know the modify, how to know, I mean, you need to know that, right? So you need to know how to modify, you need to know the language, at least, right?
Yeah,
So
bhai.
so it is needed. If you are exporting the language, doesn't mean that, okay, I missed a semicolon, there should be a semicolon. That kind of a knowledge is not needed today. But the logic, the way you solve a problem, or the algorithm you write for a problem, that has to be known. Or even though AI is giving you that algorithm, you should validate that, or you should be capable of validating that. So that's what. So learning the language in a wrong time is not the correct thing. I think you are learning in the correct time only, because the curriculum is like that. It's always old, right? So that's what I'm saying. When you start looking into something new, you will always see. So when we started language, we were not knowing, right, whether we will work on
Yeah.
C++ or not. Luckily, I got,
Yes.
but some people got on Java. So they have to learn the
Yes.
Java, right? So today
Yes.
they know the Java, and they also got this AI. For them, it will be quicker. No, that's how companies are also thinking that a job which is used to finish in 40 hours can be finished in 20 or 15 hours. Right? That's how. So people are experienced, and there are places. I don't think I should demotivate you, but there are companies prefer to hire experienced, because over the pressures or over the low, I mean, less experience, because they know that if someone is very much experienced, they know the code and they already learn the like what is the mistake, I mean, how the product, I mean, how a product can be developed. So since AI tool is there, and they can write the code if someone doesn't know the code too much, right? So they are also preferring sometime in some projects to have seniors over low, I mean, less seniors. So that is also there, but that's what I'm saying. We need to now we need to be up to date. That's all. I mean, if we know the AI, and I think it is added. No, it's always an added one.
Yeah.
And if you keep using AI, someday you will get to know how to create a product by using AI, right? So if you know that, meaning you already know the language. So that way, I think it is still fine, isn't it?
Yeah, bhai. Bhai, these are all about the hard skills. But can you say please what are the soft skills to be needed to get a job in the current market?
Communication is more important, right? The
Yeah.
communication is more important. If you know the communication, even if you don't know the language, you can still find a job. But if you know everything, or you know AI, you also know the language very much. But if you don't know you don't know how to communicate, then it's a problem. In the interview, if someone is asking something, we should explain, right? We should explain in such a way that uh, the person who is actually looking an answer should understand what I'm saying, isn't it? So communication is more important.
Bhai, as you are working, as you have worked a long time in IT and corporate sector, can you please say what will be the future of corporate after 7 to 8 years?
Future, I think, how do I say future? I don't believe in the future, by the way. I just believe today, or maybe maximum by tomorrow. So if you're doing good today, tomorrow will be brighter for you. No need to worry on the future. But so it is possible that some products will go up, and but you will find your way out. So it's not a problem. No need to think much on the future. When you think much on the future, you will get scared, right? Tomorrow this may be not there, that may be not there, something new will come, so you'll get scared. No need to focus on future, just focus on today, and you make sure that you are learning every day something new. But IT will never go, because
Yeah,
just
right.
because of AI, IT will never go. It will be there. Just that people, traditional people, will be replaced by AI people. That's all, right? If something new is coming, we need to adapt it. If you look into the State Bank, there are still seniors, isn't it? Even though they
Yes.
have computers, they learn it. No, how they survived.
Yeah, right.
So it's like that. So you are new. So when you come to, you are Gen Z, I guess. So if you are coming to uh, any software industry, I think you are better than us. So the way we think, you may think a different way, right? So you don't, I mean, don't get fear. I mean, it's fine. You guys are a very good time. But the problem is getting the first job is always important. Now, that is the very crucial today, because a lot of companies frozen their hiring, and or it is very less nowadays, or everyone is firing kind of thing. So getting the first job, I think, is more important.
Thank
So
you.
let's
Thank you.
focus. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for giving your valuable time and sharing your thoughts with us. Janmaji, you can continue from here. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have a confusion about the work culture of MNCs. Can you, sir, please give us an overview? How MNCs operate in their business model and how they source the clients. What kind of projects they deliver and the
Hmm.
roles freshers can play in those projects.
Come again, what you said. You give me a second, please. Give me a second. I got.
Okay, sir.
Sorry. Got some. Sorry, come again. What you said, Dipuna?
Sir,
Uh-huh.
my question is the about the work culture of MNCs. How
Okay.
they operate their business model and they how source the clients. What kind of
Hmm.
projects they
Okay.
deliver.
Okay. Yeah. I got the question. Uh, Client in the sense, okay, since we are into product business, we are a product based company, and for us, the clients are or the customers are the operators, right? Mainly the network or telecom operators. Like in India, you say the Airtel and Jio or BSNL, right? So we don't bother about those part because we are into R&D, and there is a team, dedicated team, and then they look into all this, how to get and how to go and interact with the customers. We are not actually qualified, to go and discuss with any of the customers, because they may not be software engineers, or they may not be doing they may not be from kind of technical background, whoever is there in the sales team. So they are purely business MBA students, or very much experienced guys. So they may be doing some management course, not technical course. So they will go to the customers, and then they will try to find what requirements they are having, or anything new they wanted to know. All these things they keep discussing. It's not like just they will go and they ask. No, they keep going, and then they keep discussing at least once in a week or something like that, and then they will see, okay, these are the requirements the operator is looking for, and then they will bring those and then ask us to implement. So since we are into R&D, we will go and implement that, and then these guys will go and discuss with the customers. Once this is done, implemented, they'll say, hey, this is done, do you need this? Then they will give a release to them. Then they will say, they will push them, can you please take it and then just try if it is working fine or not, as for your understanding or your need. If it is fine, then they will go and discuss. So that is different part altogether, and I don't have any knowledge on that, how they do it. But uh, they actually go to the customers. So and then there is a support team, there is a pre-sales team. Before selling, there is a team, and then there is a support team, and then after that everything is done, and then it becomes very old. We have a dev support team, dev job team, who will take care of outdated products or outdated domains, like that. So it is divided, by the way. Now, at least if anyone is from MCA background, I don't think we are fit to that role from the day one. We need to first come to this, and then probably you can change the role. They will not recruit if someone is from MCA. They always recruit someone from executive background, at least from business kind of MBA or some other degree. So to answer your question, I don't know much, but whatever I know is this, whatever I said.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Mhm.
So my question is I'm in MCA. Am I getting a job as a AI engineer, or I should have to continue for PhD or something higher study, or is it okay to join industry as a AI engineer after MCA?
It is okay, but the higher study is also a good one, because I have noticed, at least under me, there are a lot of people. They left. I mean, they left for higher study. They did MTech, and after that they come back again. So if you have, or you are interested in doing higher job, I think it is good to do that. It's always good to do that, because it increases the probability of getting a better job, right? So if someone is doing MCA and then MTech, there is a difference always, and then your knowledge level will be different, right? If you do MTech, so it is always good if you got a chance or you have an opportunity to do some higher study. I think it is always better. But
So
after,
can I, so a little bit question. So can I join as a AI engineer after MCA? If I don't, it is needed to you must have a PhD or MTech for this kind of
some
role.
uh, correct, understood. Some companies actually look, but let's say if you are actually looking for Google, they, yes, they need it. They actually need they don't consider MCA. So at least while sorting the profiles, right? Now if they don't shortlist, because let's say if they are getting 100, and out of 100 there are maybe 20 or 30 from IIT, and they have only one position, right? Why do they consider others? No, right? That's how. So profile shortlisting is also more important, no? So then if you have a higher grade, probably you will fit to that, and then you may come in 20%, first 20, then you will get a call. So profile shortlisting is first. After that, whether you are capable of clarifying that interview or not, right? And then second, how do you work? So for shortlisting, higher education is always needed. If you are, but not for all type of job. But in AI, probably there are very few company who work. Everyone is working on AI, but for their product, for improving their product, not developing the AI tools. But if you are considering to work on AI tools, not to use the AI tools, to develop AI tools, then you should be doing better. I mean, otherwise, I don't think they will shortlist you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for valuable time. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Mhm. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time too. Thank you.